The morning sun had barely risen when the scream tore through the quiet woods, sharp, desperate, and so out of place in the peaceful daylight that it stopped Rowan Keller in his tracks. He had been walking the forest trail with his loyal German shepherd, Mako, trying to clear his mind from another rough night of single fatherhood and unpaid bills. But that scream, weak, broken, fading, sent a tremor through his entire body. Before Rowan could blink, Mako bolted ahead, barking frantically, pulling Rowan into a destiny he never expected. And what they found lying in the clearing would soon shake the entire police force to its core. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing what's right even when no one is watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. It helps more stories like this reach the people who need them. Rowan stumbled into the clearing, breathless, and saw a woman in a torn police uniform sprawled across the dirt, her skin pale and drenched in sweat. Her name tag read Officer Mira Thorne. Blood soaked her shoulder and side, pooling beneath her. She stared up at him, her lips trembling as she fought to stay conscious. For a moment, Rowan froze, his mind flashing back to the night he lost his wife, the helplessness, the fear, the panic. But he wasn't the same man anymore. This time, someone needed him. And he wasn't going to fail again. He dropped to his knees beside her, pressing his shaking hands against her wound. Mira winced but tried to speak, managing only a raspy whisper. She begged him not to let whoever attacked her find her again. Rowan reassured her, even though his heart hammered with uncertainty. Mako circled them protectively, growling low as if sensing danger nearby. Rowan took that as a warning. He lifted Mira onto his shoulders despite the weight, despite the fear clawing at him, and began the long, uneven trek back toward his cabin deeper in the woods. Every step felt impossible. Rowan's legs burned, his breath shortened, and Mira drifted in and out of consciousness. But Rowan kept pushing. His daughter, Arya, only 7 years old, greeted him at the cabin door with wide, fearful eyes. She saw the injured officer and immediately fetched bandages, towels, and water the way her mother used to when Rowan came home scraped from construction sites. Arya worked with quiet bravery, her small hands trembling as she helped her father clean Myra's wounds. Rowan stitched what he could. Years of patching injuries from rough jobs had given him a crude but steady skill. Mira gasped and cried out, but she never complained. She kept trying to speak, to warn him of something, but the words tangled in her exhaustion. As Rowan tended to her, he noticed something strange near her belt, a small metallic device, crushed and sparking. A tracker, maybe, something high-tech. Whatever happened to her wasn't random. Someone wanted her gone and wanted no one to find her. That realization tightened Rowan's chest. He wasn't just helping an injured officer, he was stepping into something dangerous, something that could threaten his little girl. But when Mira opened her eyes and whispered thank you, Rowan knew he wasn't turning back. The next hours were filled with tension. Rowan kept watch at the windows, Mako alert beside him. Arya sat near Mira, offering her water and comfort the way only a child could, innocently, gently, without fear. By late afternoon, Mira regained enough strength to explain. She had discovered evidence of corruption within a powerful network connected to her precinct. Someone high-ranking had caught wind of her investigation and sent people after her before she could report anything officially. She fled into the woods, but they tracked her. She lost them only because she destroyed her tracker right before being shot. The weight of her admission hung in the air. Rowan understood now why she was terrified of being found. And he also understood that calling the wrong people for help could endanger all of them. But Rowan had survived enough hardship to recognize courage when he saw it. Mira wasn't asking for protection out of fear, she was asking because justice mattered more to her than her own safety. Somehow, that stirred something inside Rowan that had been asleep since his wife passed. Determined, Rowan used his old radio equipment, scraps he had repurposed years ago, to send out a distress signal directly to a trusted contact in the local K9 unit, someone he had met during a community search effort. He didn't name Mira, didn't mention the attackers, just sent coordinates and the urgent request for assistance. Mako barked sharply when he completed the transmission, as if confirming the decision. Minutes stretched like hours. Through the window, Rowan saw shadows moving between the trees. His pulse spiked. Mako bristled. Rowan shut off the lights. The forest grew eerily quiet until footsteps snapped twigs outside the cabin. Rowan grabbed his old hunting rifle, his hands trembling, not from fear but from the knowledge that protecting his daughter was worth every risk. He positioned himself between Arya and the door. Mira tried to sit up, wincing, insisting she could help, but Rowan told her to conserve her strength. Then Mako lunged toward the window, barking violently, and headlights flashed across the trees. Police vehicles swarmed the clearing. Voices shouted commands. Armed officers rushed forward. And at the center of it all was Captain Rhea Maddox, the honest K-9 unit leader Rowan had contacted. She stormed inside, immediately recognizing Mira, and the shock on her face was unmistakable. Mira reached toward her, trying to speak, and the reunion was thick with raw relief and disbelief. What happened next unfolded quickly. A specialized medical team escorted Mira to safety. Officers swept the woods and apprehended 2 masked men nearby. Evidence later linked them directly to the corrupt officials Mira had uncovered. And the cabin, Rowan's quiet hiding place from the world, became the center of a truth that rocked the entire precinct. In every statement, every report, Mira repeated the same thing: I survived because of Rowan Keller and his dog. Her words carried weight. They carried honor. And they changed Rowan's life. As evening settled and the chaos finally quieted, Rowan stood outside his cabin holding Arya close while Mako leaned against his leg. Captain Rhea approached him with gratitude and deep respect. She told him that the bravery he showed, carrying Mira, protecting his daughter, standing unarmed against danger until help arrived, was something extraordinary. Something few people would ever be strong enough to do.